Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast, the audio version of our Facebook Live series, Art Talk Tuesday. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and I am so excited that you're here to catch the weekly replay of my laid-back yet very inspiring conversations with other full-time professional artists. The purpose of this series is to show aspiring artists like you that it is completely possible to make a great career out of this art thing. And if you ever want to join us live and have your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just hop over to facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll see you there. This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to up-level their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time art business. I've been a professional artist for over 5 years with paintings in several different countries and a client list that includes high-profile companies such as Bass Pro, O'Reilly's, Duck Commander, and many, many more. So I figured out what it takes to build an art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. Go to advancedmember.com, that's advancedmember.com to learn more. This week, I asked Artist Academy Advanced student Jen Baum if she wanted to hop on a live coaching call to talk about her art business. I asked Jen specifically because I knew recently she was feeling a bit discouraged and anxious that her art business wasn't growing as fast as she wanted it to. Can anybody relate? Jen is brand new to the art world, having just made her first website and is just recently getting used to the idea of actually calling herself an artist for the first time. This can be such an exciting and stressful time for any beginner trying to navigate anything brand new. In this episode, I give Jen some really good ideas to jumpstart her progress, ideas that you could possibly implement as well. These are ideas that stem from things that I have personally implemented in my own art business in the early days, and now I can pass this along to her and anyone else needing help in the beginning phases. So let me know what you think about this special coaching call with Jen Baum. So yeah, I just wanted to get you on here. When I was writing that post today asking for volunteers, I actually thought about you specifically because you're kind of having a hard time lately. And I don't mean to call you out on that. I think it's so relatable. And I think so many people are having hard times with this whole art thing and they don't want to say it. And so you're like, but you're like, hey, I need some reassurance. I need I'm having a hard time with this and that. And so you come to me and you come to people in the group and you just get feedback. And so I wanted to get you on here because I think it's so relatable and it's something we all go through. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This whole thing is it's so new for me. I just kind of dove in. I don't know if you want me to explain how I found you or anything, but
whatever you want.
So I'm in Dion Woods' group, the Creative Connection, and I found her through YouTube, and then I found you, and it just kind of has spiraled. One of the things that she had questioned everybody on was, are you a flipper or an artist? Do you paint to make the money and make the profit, or do you paint for for your soul? I know that sounds cheesy, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I wrote it down on a Post-it note. I'm so nervous, by the way.
No, you're doing great.
So if you hear shaking in my voice, I'm so nervous.
No, you're actually you can't at all. And you're
okay,
not
good.
You're not stuttering and it's not shaky. It seems very fine. So you're
good. So I wrote it on a Post-it note, put it up at my office at work, and I just kind of thought about it all the time. And I was like, you know what? I'm an artist. I don't want. It sounds crazy for me to say that, but I told my brother. I texted him. I'm like, I'm gonna start calling myself an artist, and he's like, okay. He's a photographer, and he's it's just funny. But yeah, so I just got into all that and I was like, you know what? I really want to take this to the next level. I'm not happy in my job, my daily job. I work in insurance, no offense to your fiance,
I know.
but
Yeah.
it's not the best work or the most lively.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, for a creative person to be stuck in walls in a cube, it's like, this isn't feeding my soul right now. But
Yeah.
yeah, so here I am. I'm like, let's do it. I want to take the plunge, and I've had a lot of interest in my paintings and a lot of great feedback and stuff, but nobody's bought anything yet except for my mom. So I think it's just getting to know me, getting my customers to know me, like and trust them, trust me.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're just in the beginning phase of it. And I just want to point out because I mentioned you to my insurance agent Ryan yesterday, my fiance, and I was like, hey, because he's in the group too, and I was like, hey, you you know Jen, that girl. He's like, I don't know. I was like, the girl who painted her son's room of Fortnite, and he was like, oh yeah. She's really good. I was like, I'm gonna tell her you said that.
That's
So,
awesome. Oh my
yeah,
gosh, that makes me feel so good.
right? I was
When
like,
any
oh,
compliment I get from my husband as well, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take that like gold because he is the first to be critical, like and point out every little thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're driving me crazy. And he loved it. So I'm like, yes. Okay.
it was really good. I think it's because you had a clear plan for your son's room, like you knew exactly what you wanted, and you probably had good photos to look off of. And so
Yeah.
I think a lot of times when something isn't turning out, we just don't have really good photos, or we're not even using a photo at all. That's what I'm like, because I used to get stuck in that little thing of like, well, some artists say they don't really use reference photos. Like, who are those? I don't even know. But and so I would
I
try it,
can't
be
do
like, I'm just
it.
gonna paint from my head, like thinking that that made me better in some way, and it doesn't because some of I mean, from
Right.
just doing art talks with like some of the seasoned veterans of this game, like way more than me, like they get good reference photos and they're constantly looking at them, and I'm like, okay, okay. So I think that's part of it. You set yourself up, and you use the ribbit thing, or right,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and you projected it just like I do, and so it was just like a clear vision, and you had a clear
Yeah.
plan, and you executed it brilliantly. I think it was amazing, and I think like in this whole art business thing too, I think it's very similar to that. And like if we have a clear plan and a clear vision, we're a lot more likely to succeed. So just like a painting,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's just the same in our own art business. It's just that a lot of times we're like sitting around, we're like, I don't know what to do. Like that's why I started this group, is because I didn't know what to do and I didn't know who to ask or anything. So I'm trying to like kind of coach you guys on like, okay, this is what we can do. So that's why I want to get you on here. And we can also maybe plan out some stuff for you because you messaged me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you messaged me the other day, saying that you had like tried to run your discount, and I was like, hey, what if we tried to focus on kids rooms, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you liked that idea, and I was like, good, because I like that idea, because I literally just finished a kids room today, and they're so much fun to do. So it's really hard for me to even get someone to buy something I've already painted, versus something that someone wants. So like a lot of the times they'll see like this elephant back here, and they're like, oh my gosh, my favorite animal is a penguin. Will you paint that? Like, because like they see an animal, but they want a penguin or whatever. I'm like, yeah, sure. And so that's a lot easier to get that sale. And so yeah, I'm like, man, let's maybe focus on kids' rooms. Also, maybe even like since the holidays are coming up, maybe we could even spin it in a way to be like, because actually this is what I did one year. I did like a kids' room mural giveaway, and it went over just great. I think I got like 3 paid kids' rooms murals out of it. But this is what we did, which is also aligns in with our giveaways that we're kind of doing. I did a giveaway of a kids' room mural, and I had people comment what they would put on the walls of their kids' rooms. So like they'd be like, oh my gosh, my daughter wants this like unicorn dreamland, blah blah blah. Like so it got people talking. Or like my son would love dinosaurs or whatever. And then I
That's a
also
good idea.
yeah. So I
I
would
like
love to
that.
see you do that. And also like because I did this a few years ago. So when like kids room murals weren't like my thing yet. But I really wanted to get into it because like I feel like I'm a kid at heart, you know, and so I'm like that's my thing. And so I even like messaged my friends who even didn't have kids, and I was like, hey, like I'm wanting to get into this. Can you please share this? And doing that part of it, just having them share, helped out a lot. And like
Yeah.
I included in the post like a few different photos that even if they weren't kids room murals, like I think maybe I had done maybe one or two, and then I included some other ones that like possibly could be on a kids room, like flowers, like I did a painting of flowers and stuff, and I just did like a little collage, and I just was like giveaway, I'm giving away one. It was around the holiday season, so it was like like Merry Christmas or whatever, and then I ended up getting I think two, maybe three paid commissions out of it because what I did, everybody that commented on that giveaway, I then sent them a message directly on Messenger. I was like, hey, like, I did the drawing, but if you're still interested, like, I'm doing this for a super low rate, blah, blah, blah. And like two or three of them did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I went ahead and I contacted three different people with that same thing that we had talked about. Just, I want to get into this, add it to my resume. I did tell two different people about an introductory price. I didn't tell them what it was, but that I would do it for an introductory price. I'm in the Midwest as well, so I know some of the budgets, like, and I wonder if that's like why I'm in a slump with sales because I'm trying to go by, I don't know, maybe 75 cents an hour on a canvas, or not 75 cents an hour, 75 cents per square inch on the canvas. But even that is like, oh, brother-in-law, they're having a baby. And so I was like, I know you're building a house. It's
Ooh,
not ready yet, but let me know if you have any interest. Like, and I wouldn't mind doing that one for free just because he is my
yeah.
brother-in-law and stuff. But that's a good idea. I want to take notes as I'm watching, like, okay, do a mural giveaway. I like that idea.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Okay, yeah, and I think in the beginning too, I did a couple for free for like my really close friends who are like, I think one is like one of my best friends, and then one was like a family member. I was like, I
Hmm.
just want to get to like, you need something on your resume, which is perfect for what you've
Right.
done for your son, and still don't know what Fortnite is, but I have a pretty kind of clear understanding from what you guys have explained. But yeah.
Yeah. Sean kind of scared me because I mean, my son's 8 and he loves Fortnite and he does the dances and there's like a pink bear and everything and like, and an astronaut and then he like described it and I'm like, well, that sounds horrible. And I'm letting him play that now.
That's
But he's
awesome.
like, Mom, I just like the dances. So that's another thing that you had mentioned with getting into kids' murals, because I'm still trying to figure out my optimal customer, my target audience.
Yeah.
And I don't know, going back to one of your videos, you were talking about the 5 things that people think of when they think of you or
Hmm.
your brand. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I know my kids. I've got them on my website. I mean, they're all over social media. I don't know if that's a good thing, but they're a part of my marketing, sort of. Like, I get way more interaction when I include them in a picture versus
Yeah.
just the art or furniture. Um, so yeah, definitely. I think that's more of a target as far as targeting other moms and the kids mural way. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Yeah, because that's definitely part of your brand too. 'Cause I even thought like, 'cause like we were planning on having kids in the next couple years or whatever, and I'm like, I wonder if I could go into like baby arts, like doing like nursery rooms more often or something like that. Because
Yeah.
as you change, your brand changes, and not, I mean, not to say that every person that has a kid has to do childlike art. Um, but yeah, cool. Okay, are there
Yeah.
any like mom groups you're in? that maybe like we could even like post something in there or
Yeah. Yeah, there's some local groups for sure. Yeah,
okay.
and I mean, the more that my kids are in sport, like the older two, I've got three kids, so the older two are into sports, so I'm getting onto, those kind of groups that are tailored for, the moms of the soccer team or whatever.
There are groups like that. Oh my gosh, I have so much to learn when it comes to
Yeah,
mom
it's kind
stuff.
of ridiculous.
Who has time for all of that stuff? You guys are amazing with all this. Yeah. Awesome. So do you have any like questions about anything that's been happening in the group so far? We've been going through the fourth quarter, basically pre-strategy up until now, since we're literally today, just in the fourth quarter, October 1st. Do you have any
Right.
questions about anything so far?
The only thing, and I had asked you about this, but
Mhm.
once I looked at week 5 and 6 videos, um, you had mentioned about dangling the bait, kind of. You didn't use that term, but
Mhm.
instead of like giving the sale, keep jabbing before
Planning.
you right
Yep.
hook. Yeah. And so I
Planting the
just kind of
seed.
like, yeah, planting the seed. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, and so I didn't do that as much, and I was concerned like if that would hinder me because I'm like, man, I just jumped right into that sale, put it on Facebook, I boosted it, I put a picture of me and my daughter, like to try and get
Yeah.
more like interaction. Nobody's bought anything still, and I'm like, you know what? It'll just I feel like the more consistent I'll be with this kind of thing, the better it'll be. And it goes the whole month. Like I'm trying to hit it hard like the first month out the gate and just see what happens.
Yeah, for
But
sure. No, yeah. Yeah, you definitely have it right. It's just, and really the more time that you can put into it ahead of time too. I know we're like getting into the fourth quarter now, but really just like, and I've noticed this too. This is a very strange thing too. Like whenever you post every day, like, and I know that posting like 5 days a week, something online, especially when you have like a full-time job, um, I know that seems like a lot, but it's something that happens when you can like put your art out there every single day. And it doesn't even have to be a new project every day. It's just like an update of what you're doing. People's minds like after they see you for so long and it's so repetitive, it like something happens to where they think you're busy, and you might be, or you might not be, or you could just be posting all the time. They think you're really busy, and so that like it makes them excited for you, and it makes them want to be a part of it. That's kind of what
mhm.
I'm noticing. And like the busier I get, the more people notice, and the more people are like, "That's amazing," and then they'll tell people about it, and then they'll want to be a part of it. And it's just like the more you work, and it could be like a month down the road before you see anything happen. I know it's so hard to just like keep putting out stuff when it feels like almost no one is listening. Trust me, I know. Like that's what I felt like whenever I first started the podcast. I was like, nobody's listening. I'm not getting any downloads. Like, why am I doing that? Oh, well, I'll just keep putting out episodes. And now finally, it's like finally starting to get some downloads and stuff. But that's just kind of one example of like, I definitely know what it feels like to be like, okay, I'm working towards something and you don't get instant gratification, but it will come.
Right. Well, and I enjoy doing what I'm doing. Like I
Yeah.
enjoy painting and putting that out there. So I'm just going to keep doing that. And then hopefully people will catch on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, on that note, when you were talking about that, so I've tried a little bit of TikTok, I've tried a little bit of Instagram, Facebook. Um, I'm not very familiar with TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm trying a little bit of it, but is that something that I should maybe focus on like Facebook and Instagram first and then kind of like if I want to try TikTok, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
sometimes I get lost with like doing all of the things.
Mhm. Yeah, honestly, okay, so if I had to put them in order of like profitability, which is the most important thing, because like the vanity of it, it's just, like it doesn't matter likes and stuff, it's just profits are the main thing. I get more sales from Facebook, I'm pretty sure, than I do Instagram, which is crazy because I've 50 times more followers on Instagram.
Hmm.
And then on TikTok, I have not made a sale yet. So I also haven't asked for a sale yet. I don't know. I'm about to do this whole thing where I try to get sales on TikTok, and then I'll report back and let you guys know how to do it. But Brooke, in this group, Brooke, she just got a sale from TikTok yesterday.
Nice. I
Yeah, and I
follow
was like,
her.
yeah. So she messaged me last night and she was like, thank you so much. Like I just got a sale from it. I'm like, well, I haven't got a sale from it, but that's amazing that you have. But it's because she asked. She was on there and she showed people like, hey, like I'm doing a giveaway, like like I'm doing it and I'm just posting
Nice.
stuff. And she asked for the sale and she did like I saw like 7 different videos in like a couple days. I was like, holy gosh, she's been busy. And she got a sale from it. So I mean, like, I would say, like, Facebook, just post every day on Facebook. And once you get used to, like, posting a picture on Facebook, maybe with a small caption for 5 days in a row, once that becomes easy, like, I mean, you can also put that on Instagram, but once you get a handle on that, then maybe start on TikTok. Um, right now, I'm, like, so TikTok gung-ho, because it's so early and it's so easy to get followers on there right now. So I'm hesitant to tell you to wait, but you kind of have to go where the profits are.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try like doing everything, but it's not perfect. It's surely not great content to watch, I'm sure, but
Yeah,
just
but
keep trying.
I mean, anything we put out at first, like the first thing, the first video, the first podcast, the first anything we make is the worst one we're ever gonna make. Like my first like 3 podcast episodes, I was like, oh my gosh, like I was like interrupting people. It was just the audio was all right, and then it's gotten better and better. And the same thing with videos, same thing with your photos, and just correcting the white balance and just getting the colors and angles, like you'll get so much better, but the only way to do that is just to try. But I don't want to overwork you and tell you like, hey, get on Pinterest and TikTok and like all the
Right.
things.
I try with Pinterest too because I know like that moms are on there a lot.
Mm,
So
yeah,
I do kind of do the Pinterest thing and figure out what the top searches are and like just pin those things. And I've got like 9,000 views or something like my page, or I don't know how it does it, but
yeah,
so I try to dabble in that a little bit.
me too. And like it's tough too because like I like hit a plateau on Pinterest where I'm like we got up to like 25,000 views a month or whatever, but like I couldn't really gauge if I was actually getting something from it, so I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know, there's so many things, but yeah, just finding something that works is kind of the hard part. Let's see. I think somebody commented on there. Let's see. Katya said, I've noticed more interaction on social media since I have shown up consistently. That's cool. That's amazing. Good. And
Nice.
that really is consistency. It's like, it really is like the person who is consistent will beat out anybody that just like shows up with even better content like once a month. You know what I mean? Like the person
Yeah.
who's posting once every day. It was just kind of good and like assurance for us too, especially people just starting out. They're like, all right, if I just like try really hard, I can still do it. It just takes time, which
Yeah.
but yeah.
Totally get that.
Yeah. Do you have any more questions or anything?
I don't think I do. Tried to jot down notes in the like minute. I was like, okay, she's going on here in a minute. Um, no, I love this group. I love the fourth quarter, even though, there's been struggles or hurdles here and there. I like what I'm doing. I like painting and I like putting it out there. And this really just, for me, transitioned the mindset of a hobby into making this a business. Like, I want to do
Yeah.
something with this. I have big goals. I wrote them down.
Yeah.
They're official. So I like it. And you have broken it out so easy that, here's the
Good.
steps, the exact steps that I take. Here's my template. And it's amazing and I appreciate it. And yeah, I love it.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. And I'm so glad to hear that, like, even though you do get discouraged, like, you still like it and you're still willing to show up because it really is the people who show up, even when you don't feel, or even when you feel discouraged, are the ones that are going to make it. You've been very present in the group. I very much noticed. I'm like, there's Jen again. Look at her. And it really is the people who show up and just do it. I have very high hopes for you. I feel like we're gonna, like, if you're still in the group a year from now, we're gonna jump on a live again and be like, so, like, and like compare our talk from now and to the talk from a year ago and see how much you've progressed. Because I love
Gosh, I
watching
hope
you
it's
guys.
better.
It will be. Like, there's just, I mean, there's a system, and I give you guys the system, like you were saying, and I'm so glad that you appreciate it and you like it and everything. I like to hear feedback too, since this is kind of a new group, and I'm like giving you guys everything, and I'm glad to hear that it's being absorbed well, I guess.
Mm-hmm. It is. And I've gone back and I've rewatched a couple of videos because I'm
Oh,
like, wait, there was a lot of information in this one. It's all done really well.
good.
I appreciate
Thanks.
it.
You make my night. Thank you. I'm not paying her to say this, guys.
No paying. I didn't know what to talk about, so
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
No, you did great, and you got your first. Is this your first live that you've done?
Yeah, so I used to do like multi-level marketing, direct sales. I
Mm-hmm.
made a horrible thing. But anyways, I would do Facebook Lives a lot, and I got to the point where it was no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't done that in years, and I'm just like, oh gosh, it's right back to the first time, and I'm fumbling over my words and can't get the picture right. And
Oh no, you're
anyway,
good. No, it went great. But yes, okay,
drop
Jen, thank you so
shipping.
much. You dropped it. Yes, much easier.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for coming on here. And
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
yeah, no problem. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
This episode is sponsored by the Artist Academy Advanced Membership, a program for artists who want to uplevel their art game by taking it from a hobby or a side hustle to a full-time art business. I've been a professional artist for over 5 years, with paintings in several different countries and a client list that includes high-profile companies such as Bass Pro, O'Reilly's, Duck Commander, and many, many more. So I figured out what it takes to build an art business, and now my heart is set on teaching aspiring artists like you to do the same. Go to advancedmember.com, that's advancedmember.com to learn more. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Also, if you ever want to join us live and have your questions answered in real time by myself or featured guests, then just hop on over to facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'll see you next week.